strategy that we're going to win this year, right? And at the end of the year, you're going to say to yourself, 2021, right? So that's the only way I'm going to write it. You're going to see that throughout the entire year. I need you guys to start thinking a little bit differently. And to kind of recap something I'd mentioned before is like, you can't be a fly. You gotta, if you're gonna really have that 2021 mentality, you have to fly. You can't be a fly. You can't be banging your face against the freaking wall, wondering why shit's not working. Maybe for you, it's going to be, you know what? I finally got to figure out how to get my lead generation in place. You know what? You know what? I'm not going to let another week go by that I don't get my damn marketing in place. All right. I'm going to make sure that my profile's in place. I'm going to make sure I get a skill set that I never had before this year. I'm going to work on, building some tools. So this way, I can get to the next level. Because unfortunately, that fly is going to keep banging until he's tired. And all he had to do was just come out and say, hey, Gil, hey, Mike, hey, Andrew, can you open that window for me? Just reach out to a mentor, reach out to a coach, reach out to some of the guys I want to shout out in a second and say, hey, man, how would you go through this window? Well, I'd just fucking open it, right? This is the year to just leverage. We got an incredible company right now on multiple continents and with multiple opportunities. Go out there and fly, okay? So, and I will tell you, like, now I've shared this story in a private group, but for some of you guys who've been in the business for a while, the story of the eagle is something that has a lot of impact for me. If you guys don't know, the eagle flies super high. He's the king of all birds, right? Nobody fucks with an eagle, right? They fly higher than any other bird. In fact, they fly above the sky. In fact, even through a storm, they're the only ones out there flying. But there comes a time when that eagle becomes tired. There comes a time that eagle gets, a little broken. And I get that, man. I've been tired, I understand that, and at that point, the eagle can't fly above the clouds anymore, and he starts to retreat. And if you don't know the story, the eagle will go back into the mountains and he'll find a spot. And what I'm about to tell you is very gruesome. It's a bloody situation, but that eagle will begin to rip out all of its feathers. It'll break its beak. It'll rip out its talons. And it's a bloody mess. There's blood everywhere, and he's vulnerable. And that eagle will retire into a nest and just protect himself, completely vulnerable. He can't go and hunt. But in that time period, he'll regrow his talons, he'll regrow his beak, he'll regrow his feathers, and he has a rebirth. And 2021 can be that for you. And at that point, he flies higher than he's ever flown before. For some of you guys, you have a rebirth, right? You need to kind of, even if you're kind of newer, you may be like, you know what? I need to shake some old habits. I need to figure out how to align myself with some of the leaders. I need to figure out how to bring my skill set. I need to do more, right? I need to make some more calls, make some more appointments. I got to challenge myself to get past my fears. Whatever feathers you got left over, they're not serving you well, rip those mothers out, right? Now it's time to fly high. Right now, it's to fly like an eagle. EXP has proven one thing to me is that we've got something very, very special. But you may be carrying some old feathers. You got to rip those out and start fresh, right? So one thing I always like to start off the year is talk about our growth, because that's what we are. We're a growth company, right? I always say go out there and get your GC license and go grow, right? So I'm going to celebrate some people that year over year had an incredible year. And let's see, let me just make sure I don't have anybody I'm missing out here. I think Marissa was going to text me one more person. Let's see, Marissa. Nope, I haven't got it yet. So here we go. So 2020, these are people who in 2020 had a better year than 2019. And we're going to start off from the low to high. We're going to shout out some people. And if you're on the call, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So no need to reach out to you because I can't see everybody on the screen. So if I shout you out and you want to share, hey, what did you do? If you have something you want to share, what did you do differently in 2020 to improve your business? And what are you planning on doing in 2021 to continue to improve your business? So let's get started. So first on the list. And some of these people, you know, are newer agents. Some of them are very, very experienced. And I got to tell you, if you're an experienced agent and you're still growing your business, no matter how small, that's a big deal, right? It's a big deal to go improve your business when you're already doing a lot of business. So that first person on that list is Charlie Santos. He's a veteran. He's been in the business for quite a while, increased his business by 7%. Jose Amoroso by 8%. And this one here, I just got to stop right here. Like when you're already on top of your game, Tia Billis, $15 million the previous year. I'm like, she did 10 million, 12 million, 13 million year after year, went to 15 million. I'm like, you know, I don't know, man. It's like, you're going to improve your business. Well, she did it again. She improved it another 11%. I don't know if she's on the call. If she is, unmute yourself. But now at 16 million year over year, 11% growth. That's freaking incredible. But we got Dustin on the call there, you know, year over year, continuing to grow his business, a veteran in the game now. I remember when you were a brand new agent. I remember when Tia was a brand new agent, and, you know, continuing to build his business, double digit gains, 13%. I'm going to go through this and I'm going to ask a few guys to, you know, just unmute yourself and shout yourself out. Sean Romano came up 15%. Jose Vega, 22%. Devin Lofton, those two guys have been with me here in Atlanta. Mac, I don't know if he's on the call, but Mac's another freaking monster. Improved his business 36%. He went from 22 million in sales to 29 million. So on top of his game and even got better. Maeve at 39% growth. Jason Noseworthy at 40%. Jenny Lopez has been on this list every single year, grew 48%. My boy Dan Rojas, 55% growth year over year. Every year, this guy's grown. Every year has grown as a leader, has grown as an agent. 30 under 30, the guy's freaking macking. Michelle Perry, 65% growth. Belinda Santos, both Charlie and Belinda grew their business after coming into EXP. She grew her business 78%. We got Tina on there, 83% from the power team. Jennifer DeVivo's always been a rock star. Musician as well as an agent, grew her business 84%. Jill Silk from the power team, 91% growth year over year. And Marlon Persuade, 97%. That's pretty incredible stuff, man. But you know what? That's just the first page. We had some people that did triple digit growth, and we're going to shout those guys out. If you're on this page right now, maybe Dustin, I'd love to get your thoughts on there. If Mac or Tia or Dan Rojas is on there, I'd love, or Jill, if you're on this right now, it's like, were you conscious about, like, what did you do differently to grow your business in 2019? And then maybe specifically, what are you doing in 2021 to continue to grow your business? So I'm going to take a second and let's see if we can get a couple people to chime in. Dustin, because I'm looking at you, you're going first. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd call me out. So the one thing that I would say I did differently is I started building a team. Having agents on a team and building their success it also builds your own success. So that's one thing I did differently in 2020. With COVID, it was a little tricky. You know, it was unpredictable what was going to happen there in beginning and middle of the year there. So, but either way, it ended up working out great. And for 2021, I'm just going to continue to build my team, invest more in leads for my team and in myself. So,
and Dustin, how long have you been in the business?
This will be, I'm 5.5 years in.
5.5 years in, and you know, and I know that, you know, having the baby and COVID was challenging for you. How did you get through that?
To be quite honest, I took like 5 months off this year. I only worked with close friends and family and my best clients. Only my investor clients or people that I've worked with in the past. I didn't take on any new leads through anywhere from like the time my baby was born, which was May, up until about October. So
maybe just focusing in on those sphere influence people, and just kind of doubling down on those people that were connected to you already, that had, you know, that know, like, and trust you, helped you in your business.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. But at the same time, I took that time to spend with family and focus on the new baby and help my wife. all the kids are at home. We have 3 daughters and they're all young. One's in school. So it's kind of hectic around here. And she was also home. So I spent a lot of time with that, doing that too. So it was really nice. It was really nice to have more family, a little bit less work, and still be able to make money throughout the year.
So you grew your business last year. What do you expect to do this year?
Oh, I expect to do way more this year. I mean, if I did 13% with pretty much taking 5 months off, I expect to do at least 50 to 100% better next year or this year.
Right. Appreciate you sharing. Anybody else on that first list? All right, let's keep going. Here's the second page of success here on the growth chart. We're going to start right there. If you're really new to the team, Sean Rooney, I think also from the Power Squad, 116% growth. We have Boss, who actually partners with Mac. Again, it's one thing when you have 2 people and one person grew and the other one didn't. Both people grew. Best year I think he's ever had in the business. Incredible. We had Tanae with 130% growth. Eddie Torres with 143% growth after coming into with EXP. And I see Charlie and Belinda there now at the bottom of the screen. Kudos for both of you guys growing your business. Mackenzie, 148% growth. Julimar, no doubt she was going to be on this, and she was already at a high performing, grew her business 152%. We have Shung Win, 160%. My boy Mike Collier there, 173% growth from the ambassador team, flexing his muscles over there. Bill Smith, 196% growth. Amber Renan, 198% growth. Our new 30-year-old Deontay Lawrence grew his business 204%. Jennifer Encarnacion, 215% growth. I mean, these were people who already had strong numbers. Brittany Pride, 223% growth, incredible. Mike Jackson, 228%. Tom Simino, sitting over there. I mean, he's an industry veteran, continuing to push his numbers. Grew his business 242%. Way to go, Tom. Florence Zimmerman, another person, like Dustin, she had a baby last year and, had a lot of challenges, continued to grow her growth. She plugged in, followed the coaching, and 243% growth after joining EXP. Very proud of her growth. Patty Fisher, who, by the way, used to be with our team, left our team, came back to our team, and then got 493% growth. Incredible growth there. And BB, I saw you on the screen there too. I looked at your number. Good job. I mean, you just kind of got started, so your numbers are kind of like a little bit flexed there, but that's 587% growth. Good job. But now we go to the third and final page. And these people that are on this page have had incredible growth, not only in their production. Oh, well, actually, let's go back before I go there. Let me get some people to share there. Hey, Mike, maybe I can get you to start off on this page here. Kind of talk to me about what you attribute your growth in 2019, and also what do you plan on doing in 2021 to keep that growth at that level?
Yeah, good question. So really, it's been a better use of my time. I started realizing, you either have money or you have time. And, when I started out in this business, I didn't have a lot of money, much like you guys on this call. I didn't have a lot of money to start with, but I had a lot of time. You have to choose which one you want to sacrifice. And so I sacrificed a lot of my time doing the things that I was told that people don't do. Agents don't do open houses. Well, I did open houses. And that really is what started to kick off my business. And I did them consistently. I began building my team and teaching my team what I learned. So I lead the ambassador team. And, it's said that you don't really know a thing until you teach a thing. And so once you begin teaching a thing, you start realizing how much you know or do not know about it. And if you're going to teach it, then you better go and learn about it. And so it's forced me to learn some things. So just like yesterday, I did a presentation for the group, and I'm going to continue to do more of that. So in 2021, you'll see me doing more presentations. I've vowed to create 4 to 5 more presentations this year that I'll be presenting to agents and to the Alliance Group. One of which was yesterday, and continue to grow my team.
Good stuff. Maybe we can get, we got Florence here. I'd love to hear your perspective. I want to know specifically from you, what do you plan on, I want to know what you did differently this year, but also what do you plan on doing next year to continue that growth?
Yeah, so I would say, I've been thinking about this actually for a while, but one of the things is you don't need to be good at everything. And I think this is something that I quickly realized when I first spoke with you Previously, before being at EXP, I was with another brokerage here in Central Florida. And when I was brand new, I was trying everything, doing a little bit of everything. And then when I sat with you, I really got down to the nitty gritty. What is that is actually working for me? And I know when you're sitting in on these Zoom calls, you hear of agents that are rocking open houses, rocking Zillow leads. And I think for me, it was just realizing I don't need to be good at 10 things. I need to be really, really good at those 2-3 things. So for me, that has been my referrals, my database, and social media. So that's definitely something I honed in on. And then the second one is asking questions. Asking questions to buyers, sellers, figuring out what is their motivation. And then the other side of that has been asking questions to figure out who is a qualified lead. So my first year, I was running around up and down, busier than I was this last year because I was spending a lot of time with people who truly were not qualified. So asking questions, making sure that I know where that buyer is, where's their credit, where's their income, do they have money down before I even send them to the lender? So just asking questions has been a game changer for me. And I guess moving into this next year, I'm hoping to double my business, so double what I did in 2020. And one of the things that I'm planning to do, and it's a mindset thing for me, so it's letting go of being perfect. It's something I'm continuously working on. And it's just, you know, sometimes I like to have everything in order before I even do it. But in real estate, you just have to do it. And sometimes you figure it out as you go. You learn something new every day. So that's my plan, is just mindset. So surrounding myself with, you know, people who are where I want to be next year. And yeah.
Hey, Gil, can I say something real quick? One of my deals this year was one of Florence's deals as well. She represented the seller, I represented the buyer, so we contributed to each other's numbers on this call.
That's the way to do it. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we got some great people on this list here who grew their business here. Who else can we hear? We got Deontay on the call. We got Tom on the call. Brittany, I'd love to hear your story. And like, what did you do to grow your business in 2020? And what do you plan on doing in 2021 to continue that growth?
Hey guys. All right. So, 2020 for us, as everybody else, has been such an eye-opening year that those that were focused just have excelled in so much. Looking at coming into EXP last year, September of 2019, we had a similar growth club, and I think I had grew my business in just that short amount of time with you guys, like 400%. And then to look at coming into the growth club at 223% again, it's like, okay, what did we do? And I think, looking at how much we've grown the organization, the team, and the mentorship program has been incredible for me, because not only have I learned a lot from just the Alliance group and all of you guys that are pouring into us every day, I'm learning so much from the mentees. Teaching them has just kind of been a reverse of teaching myself things. And that for me has been huge, because, they're coming up with their perspective of things. And that's teaching me, and that's given me more insight into how I'm able to grow my business. One of the other things was consistency was huge. You hear it all the time. If you want this, you got to be persistent and consistent at whatever it is. And I'm hearing, Mike and Florence both saying, you don't have to be great at everything, but find that one thing and focus on it and be freaking awesome at it. And so for me, this year was really honing in on what I'm good at and using my resources and delegating what I'm not good at. And so I think, one of the things for 2021 for me is really being resourceful and outsourcing what I'm not good at, paying that money. Josh and Mike says all the time, you have sweat equity or you have check equity. And so there's things that I don't really have sweat equity for. And, I want to just check equity that out, but also have that be able to bring in more income and more business for us in 2021, because I've always been in that mindset. I don't know if it's mindset, but I've always been in that avenue of like, I got to do it all. Like, how am I going to make all these phone calls, show all these properties, help this many people? But it's like, at the end of the day, like, we can't do it all. And you look at people that have built infrastructures, they're not doing it all. They're really good at what they're good at, and they outsource what they're not. And I think this year has really shown me that I've got to outsource more to grow bigger, because I'm kind of at that sweet spot of, if I want to grow another 223% in 2021, I've got to be resourceful. So really, that's what I'm looking to do to grow next year. Is you're going to see more video, more social media, but it's going to be other people doing a lot of this stuff for me, and just resources, using my resources.
Good stuff. So 2021, leveraging more professionals that, that's what they're good at, have them do it. My wife always says, do what you do best and pay for the rest. And also, pouring into somebody else. When you pour into somebody else and you start teaching someone else, you're going to find out that there's some room for you to grow too. And you're going to be like, oh, you start looking. It's great to be a student, right? And be a student again, and kind of just putting some of those stuff into application. We had a couple more people I'd love to hear you share. If you can just come off of mute and tell me what you did. If you're on this list right now, what you did in 2019 to grow your business, and what do you plan on doing specifically in 2021 to grow your business? Don't make me call you out. Go ahead.
Gail, I'll jump in. Can you hear me?
Deontay. Then Jen, you're on.
Yeah.
Who's going?
Deontay. Is that J.E.? J.E., you go first, man. You got little Jerry in there, so go ahead.
Oh, that's sweet. Listen, so I mean, honestly, I think for me, it really boiled down to just I had to add value. Like, I had to really think about like what having my goal meant to me. So initially, when I think about it, it's like, yeah, it's great to have like a dollar producing goal at the end of the year, but being part of different communities and hearing, higher performers talk, and you realize there's just more to it than just that GCI. And so for me, it really was but I just made the goal of, I'm going to be Icon this year. Like last year, that was my goal. And, it allowed me to cap, and I mean, I'm like halfway there to Icon. So it's still very possible, but just having a more meaningful, like end result to me is what allowed me to be intentional about the other things that I do in my business, like going to the gym with a Jen can help you buy a house shirt, or like, not scared to have a random conversation with a random person because they did something that stood out, and bringing up real estate. Like, not scared to ask for a referral. Like, I think that when I just really took a step back, like instead of chasing the hustle, I was chasing something more meaningful. And I think when I kind of like played, like kind of got out of my own way and like thought of it that way, it allowed me to be free with anything real estate related, and it worked.
Yeah, I think if I can just add to it, is like, you went from being a hustler to realizing I'm going to be a professional, right? And I think that is the stage you got to go through, right? And that kind of goes along with what Mike was saying, sweat equity and check equity, and just like, you got to move, you got to evolve. And, it's one thing I'm always excited about is when I see veterans complete, doubling their business, year after year after year, like you're doing right now, and moving into that next level. It's an evolution, right? So, Deontay, you're up next.
I love you, J.E. But for me, I kind of shared with this briefly on our panel. It was kind of two things. The book Traction literally transformed my business, right? I would say Q1, Q2, my production was pretty average, 1.5, 2 deals a month. However, when I started reading that book, Traction, which primarily is all about measuring what you're doing, whether it's calls, appointments, and everything like that, that's really when you can pretty much tell the difference in my production. So the mid Q3, end of Q4, I went from 1.5, 2 deals a month to 4 to 5 deals a month. So just that, what is it called? 2 millimeter shift in actually looking at what I'm doing on the daily basis transformed everything, and really falling even more so in what I feel like is my niche is just social media. Just really capitalizing on that, because I've gotten a lot of referral business, whether, you know, stuff coming up this year, next year, that has really been what I've seen that has, you know, impacted my business and really is taking it forward. So this year, 2021, to answer your question, we're doubling down on it. So I got a lot of stuff coming up. Invested some more money into those things as well. DeVivo's on here. She's my social media YouTube spirit animal as well. So we bounce back ideas on how to take things to the next level through Facebook and YouTube, and really marketing home tours and stuff like that to different type of people. So that's the game plan, to turn that 204 to 408. So that's pretty much it. Traction and doubling down on my niche.
Well, I guess that means that we missed you on the first chart, Jennifer DeVivo. So I'm going to have you hop in right now. I mean, it's one thing, like, and the thing is, what's amazing about, I think, quite a few of you guys is that, you know, you doubled your business, you improved your business in time periods where things weren't that easy, right? You know, people had some real struggles, from, like, you know, being sick themselves and having some challenges with their health, to having a baby, to, you know, just really just having to kind of rearrange their social structure, and all of those came with other challenges. So, you know, Jennifer, if you could share DeVivo, like, you know, what did you have to do with the time that you had in 2019 to continue to grow your business, and what's your plan in 2021?
Hey. Yeah, I missed the first graph, so I don't know what my percentage is.
I'll tell you, it was, where you at? You jumped up, let's see, I think you were, where are you at there? You are 84% growth year over year from 2019 to 2020.
Well, that's good. That's good. I had a special challenge this year. Some of you know I was ill from April until October and could only work part-time hours. So I was laid up in bed, and I had a major surgery and recovered, and well on the way to recovery, which is good, feeling better. So yes, it's definitely good. And so I had to really narrow my focus on what was the most important thing, which were my clients. And I would say that one of the biggest things that happened from 2019 to 2020 was a lot less social events. I probably was doing way too many fluffy realtor social events, and just out there. And when I get the calls from my clients, yeah, I'm going to get them, but when 2020 knocked that out, I was left with my clients and just really doubling down on the relationships, doubling down on the service. And that's like my word for this year, you know, not unlike what Jen said earlier. For me, I decided to double down on my niche, which is veterans. My son serves, my brother serves. And you can go and be crazy about the numbers, but I found that working with this niche of veterans and heroes feeds my heart, feeds my soul. And so I saw, you know, I partnered with veteran groups and veteran organizations last year, and I taught, and I'm going to be doubling down on that this year, teaching, doing boot camps, working with veteran organizations, and doing more social media. Last year I kind of fell off because I was in bed, and I didn't have that. So outsourcing some of my social media is a big thing this year. So I just show up, do the creative, put it out, show up, do my education, put it out. And so that's kind of a thing for me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend a little more money this year on that. But for me, since I'm more of a creative person who likes bright, shiny things, I need some people on my team that can keep me consistent. And so by working and outsourcing those things this year, doubling down on my niche, focusing on education, and really, really serving my clients, that's where I see the year going, and hopefully continuing to grow.
Well, at 84% growth and being down for, you know, as much time as you were, that's incredible, and almost hitting $7 million. That's an incredible job. But what I'm hearing from a lot of you guys is, you know, really focusing on a few things, right? You know, not going after, you know, the shiny, you know, the shiny rock and be like, okay, I want to do this. Like, I mean, you know, I can tell you my own journey. Like, I did everything. I was like, oh, I want to do FSBOs. I want to do expires. Oh, my boy over there is working on this thing. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I started this whole HR 3648 program. It took me like 4 months to create a freaking flyer and this mailing campaign, all these, like, just keep it simple. And I think that, you know, also if you're passionate about it, the way, you know, DeVivo shared with you, it makes a difference, right? You have to believe in what you are putting in front of the customer. So try to, you know, just stick in one lane. Find something that you're passionate about in 2021 and just work with it. Keep working with it. Keep working with it. Keep working with it. And then fine tune it and fine tune it. And you're going to find that you're going to get the results. We had a lot of people on this slide here too. I think Eddie Torres, you know, joined EXP. If you're on here, I'd love you to unmute yourself. You know, you grew 143%. You know, what did you attribute that growth to, and what are you planning on doing next year to have triple digit gains again?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big change, obviously, me coming over here for this year, and I'm grateful for it because it was the best decision that I could ever made. It put me in kind of like a mindset with the right people to make good use of my time, you know. So I feel like I fed off of all of that energy. And granted, you know, obviously I was out of the office for a little while when everything started to hit really hard, but I was still, you know, in the mindset of everything, and I still had everything going the same way. So open houses, which are huge for me, kind of took a little bit of a hit, but I feel like they kind of helped out because those people that are actually still coming in are a lot more engaged. They're a lot more committed to actually going through the whole process. So those people I feel like are a lot more genuine of clients, and it's really, you know, continued to grow my business big time. Focusing a lot on the follow-ups on referrals and past clients, making sure that everything's good with them, and that's really started to grow my business big time. And a lot of those people that I helped out from up north are obviously thinking about having other people moving down south over here. So 2021 is going to be big. I'm going to continue to do exactly what I'm doing, which is just focus on, you know, my relationships with people, my personal growth, just trying to build on my business and, you know, building on me and my personal development and just being a better person overall.
You know, I think it's incredible to hear some of you guys say, you know what, I'm going to really just, not only am I going to work on the customers that I've worked on, I'm really going to start breaking through the referrals. I think this referrals is something that we say a lot, and I don't think we have a great understanding what that means. It's you know, there's a lot of great books on it, but there's a book I read was called The Referral Engine, and it's just finding through the story, the other stories. Most of you guys know, you know, one person. And if you think about, well, who introduced me to that person? Well, you know, who can I thank for that person, right? And who introduced that person? How did I get to know this person? And, you know, there's a book called 7 Levels, and you can go get that book, and it talks about like the 7 levels of every relationship that you have, and really just making a conscious exercise of saying, okay, well, how did I get to this person? And you know, what's cool about it is you call somebody up and say, hey, I just want to thank you for introducing me to blah, 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 blah. I'm just curious, how did you meet that person, right? Because, you know, I was able to help them with their deal, and it was a blessing, and I appreciate you, blah, blah, but how did you meet them? Tell me more about that story. Oh, I met them through John. John's my old co-worker, blah, blah, blah. Like, man, that's awesome. He sounds like a great guy. Can you introduce me to him? I'd love to be able to help him too, right? And just kind of working through that referral engine and continuing to focus on working the family of relationships that every single consumer you have, right? Don't leave that on the table. And by the way, when you start doing that, it's going to make you happier, right? Because you're going to be serving more people in that group, and you start building a tribe. And you don't have to pay Zillow for that. It's just about just caring to connect. Care to connect. You do that, and you're going to build that referral business. I think we've got, I don't know if we've got anybody else here on this list here who hasn't shared. Anybody else on this list want to share?
I'll go ahead and share.
Go ahead.
So basically last year was kind of my first year focusing on real estate. I got my license at the end of 2019, but didn't really do much with it. And then the second half of last year is when I moved into real estate full time. But I do feel like at the end of the year, I was very reactive. So just kind of waiting on leads to come in. And I did pretty well with that for just starting out. But this year, I definitely want to be proactive. And just kind of reach out, contact people, just reach people without waiting on just leads to come in. Because I'm pretty good with, of course, building relationships with the leads that I get and getting referrals from them, which is awesome. But I do know that I could take more advantage of the people that I already know and the people that are in my circle and getting referrals from them as well. So I kind of just want to move in that direction this year, just to sort of make use of both options.
Just curious, I mean, what would you say? I mean, do you anticipate 100% gain in your business? Do you anticipate more than that? It's like, and what challenges might you have to be able to get there?
I would anticipate, I mean, at least 100% gain. I'd like to get more, just because this will be my first year working a job that's solely commission based. So I want to make at least as much as I did last year, but hopefully more, because that's the reason why I kind of got into this, if I'm being honest. As far as challenges, I've never really worked on my sphere. I've never been confident in it. I'm not, I don't know. Jen will tell you, Jen E will tell you that I'm not super social as far as going out and meeting people and things like that. So I just never really believed in making more of my sphere and the people that I already know. But I've learned that, you know, even just taking that small group of people and getting referrals from them and then getting referrals from them, my sphere can just continue growing. So I think I just have to push myself out of my comfort zone to reach out to people and to ask for those referrals. Whereas before I wasn't ready to do that.
Yeah, I think Florence said it really well. It's like, you know, just asking more questions of the people that are around you, you know, and digging a little bit and just being curious. You know, I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it 1,000 more. Curious people make more money. That's the key. You just got to just be interested. Stop trying to be so interesting, right? Stop trying to tell everybody how you're so great. Find out why they're great. You do that and you win. So I'm excited about the next page here. And by the way, we had some people that were not on this list because we didn't actually have the numbers for them before. They had zero sales the year before, but you know, see Ben Barry came over to us and did 5 million last year. Ridiculous growth. I don't even know how to calculate that. So he went from zero to hero. Last year's not on this list here, but crushed it. But we're now down to our top 6 people on growth year over year. And we got some incredible human beings here. I'd love to hear what they've got to say too. And she's probably surprised to see herself on there. Shani Jones, you know, I think it's a classic agent who comes from like, I was going to be, you know, a part-time agent. I'm going to, hey, I can do this part-time. I can do this part-time, and, you know, realize that there's a little bit more effort that has to happen in there. And, you know, she's been trying, I almost feel like, you know, the double Dutch, right? So you're trying to jump into the jump rope and you're like kind of timing, and you can spend your entire life trying to time it. Right? You can spend your entire time trying to like think about jumping in. And she finally decided that she was going to kind of just say, you know what? I'm going to jump in. And, you know, I might get hit by the rope as it goes along there, but, you know, she made a commitment in there and her business started to grow and she started getting a little confidence. And, you know, I actually think that she's going to crush 2021, probably be 1,000% next year. But Shani, if you could share a little bit about like the mental transition to actually going full time and what you plan on doing next year to grow your business.
Sure. Yes, I'm super surprised to see my name on the list because I know for some people, you know, I'm thankful, very thankful for Gil and just this team. People like Jennifer Encarnacion, who I've known for a long time, but I've been in the business for 6 years, but part-time my entire time. I was always working full-time in property management, and this was I think my biggest leap and the biggest thing that contributed to my growth was, like Gil said, I did decide to just go all in. A lot of it was really working with clients that I've worked with before. Relationships have always been important to me. And I actually had one client that I worked with them throughout the year with a rental. Then I helped them find a home. I helped them, sell a home. And that really helped with my improvement. And I do a lot of workshops. I love speaking with people. And I have seen that that's where a lot of my growth has gone. But in October of this year, I left my full-time position, which is something that Gil knows I grappled with back and forth for years, the entire time that I've been a real estate agent. And I think that is what's probably going to contribute the most going to 2021, because I think I can focus just on really seeing what my true skills and talents are in real estate. I've always been a multitasker and juggling a million things. But I think, like a lot of people have said, sometimes you do have to focus in on those one or two things that are important. My background is journalism. So I think my biggest thing is finding the creative ways to incorporate journalism and social media and what I love just in general into real estate. Real estate is something that I've become more passionate about, but Gil knows from the beginning when we first had our first training, television has always been my first love. And that's kind of one of the other things that I've done. So finding a way to marry the two and make it fun for me. I don't think I've ever been and will ever be your typical agent in terms of, going into some of the things that are always done in marketing and those things, but I feel like I'm supposed to do something different, have a different type of niche. And going into 2021, I just want to marry the things that I love with what I'm doing now in real estate and continue to focus on relationships with people, focusing on workshops and doing better in networking. There's names that I've seen on these lists for a long time that I haven't been able to put with faces. So I'm glad to be on this to kind of see some of the people that I haven't had a chance to meet. And kind of getting back into the flow of networking with other great realtors and learning from them as well. I've learned a lot on this call, just listening to all the things that other people are doing. But I think that's what's contributed. And I will say, hanging on to the relationships that are important in this business. I'm thankful for Gil because he's never, I always tell him, you've never given up on me. And like I said, people like Jen and even Marissa, who's like the mommy of I think our group, at least that's how I see her. Just how she always looks out for us. I think just really leveraging those relationships, but also just being open to what's new and out there. So I've already started in terms of building on social media, creating another Instagram page just dedicated to that. And also some of the things that I love, I've learned in 2020 that I love not just having people buy homes, but helping them realize how to make it a home in terms of, interior decorating and design. And I have a lot of cool friends that have been able to help me help some of my clients do some of those things. So even that being something that I never thought of before is just something I like to do, but realizing, okay, that's something I can actually add to it. So I would say, just like I said, diving all in, no longer being a part-time agent and really focusing on being a full-time agent and putting my faith in God and also just the skills that he's given me and seeing what happens. So I'm looking forward to what 2021 will look like for sure.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear you say you want to start collaborating with other people. You're an ex MTV host, and you've always done a lot of video. You should be connecting with Jennifer DeVivo. She's done a couple of TV shows with House Hunter. I think just doing some mindstorming with a few other people and finding out like, hey, what are you working on? What are you working on? And collaborating on that would probably be very helpful for you. But I think that you and Brittany Pride also have something like really in common. It's like, think about where your business came from in the past, right? And try not to be like, okay, well, I like Eddie Torres, like I did a bunch of business on open houses last year. Let me go do Zillow leads this year, right? Like if you got some success from it, let's just do the things you were successful with in the past, and let's just do it more often, right? So one of the things in your plan for 2021 is like you've gotten a lot of business from doing your like what do you call those? The down payment. What's that?
What, the workshops?
The workshops, right?
Yeah.
Right. In your past, we sat down and like, well, I do these workshops and I got some business from them. I was like, well, how many deals do you get from them? I get about a deal or so or two sometimes from these workshops. And I'm like, well, let's just do more workshops, right?
Right.
So, putting the calendar together and putting it on the calendar. I'm going to do these dollar productive activities consistently throughout the year because it's worked. And then what's going to happen is it's going to work better, right? Because we're going to be very consistent on a few things. We're going to do them over and over and over again. And I think that that's the key for your 2021 success. And I definitely see you, having a triple digit gain again next year and being at the top of the list. So I look forward to that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gil, and everyone.
Catalina Puerta, which, she's a fairly new agent with us. I mean, been around for a couple of years, had good growth last year, continue to have great growth. I don't know if she's on the call today, but 693% growth doesn't happen by accident, right? It's about putting your business first and just going to do it. And we all have excuses why we don't have, we could have excuses. Oh, I don't have a great command of the language. I'm not a super social person, right? I'm not a great technology person. But what you do have something that you're great at, right? And she's found a way to really work her business and find growth. So very, very proud of Catalina. And next up, we have Corinne.
That is surprising.
Oh, there you are. Oh, great job.
Yes, I'm here. I mean, all the time.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me about what did you do last year for your business, and what do you plan to do your business next year?
Well, like you just mentioned, I just took my fears aside. I hear everything what you said. I learned from all the rock stars that just talk. I just focused on just being me, trying to and doing what I do best, connecting with people, creating those relationships, and from there I got referrals. So yes, it is very surprising that I'm in that list though.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Growth is growth, and I'm excited for you. I mean, but what are you going to do next year to continue that growth?
Well, I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. I'm still learning from you guys, learning from what I am capable of, and I don't know, continue to do that and try to get more stuff into it.
I think that one of the things that I'm very proud of you is that in the very beginning you were so scared, like you
Oh
just
yes.
How did you get past the fear?
I don't know, try to believe in what I can do. Every time that I saw that I did have a success, I said, I can do it. Why am I scared of? I don't have to. So yes, and like I said, I just hear and copy all of the rock stars, and yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Great job.
But
Great
yeah,
job.
I'm so excited about it. So
2021, let's go make that happen. All right, so we've got
Yep.
the next on the list, Corinne DePhillips. I think you're on the call. What did you do in 2019 to grow your business? What do you plan on doing in 2021 to have that growth? 731% growth, again, does not happen by accident. That's incredible. I think you've been a great student of the game. If you're here, jump on.
Hey everyone. So one thing I learned in 2019 as a newer agent and transitioning into 2020, into a year where I thought was going to be a really great year, and then we had COVID, and I was like, shit, what am I going to do? So one of the things I did do was just really stayed consistent. And one of the things I've just trained myself mentally to do, because it all, Bobby says it best, you have to develop the person before you develop the business. Every no I got, or every I'm going to hold off on the home search, or I'm not ready now, it would just provoke me to look for someone who was a yes and allow me to move forward. Instead of feeling doubtful whenever I heard a no, it inspired me to find a yes. So being consistent was the major key. Like people have said, open houses, I live by them. If I have agents under me, which I have been starting, I tell them do the open houses, be curious, ask questions, and more importantly, just keep focused and keep moving forward no matter what obstacles come up, no matter the no's you get, or no matter the deals that fall through, to keep moving forward. Because when I had first started, as Gil knows, with our awful deal, I almost gave up. And he told me he saw the vision in me that I didn't see yet. And I would have never had the year I had last year, or the years I'm going to continue to have, if I would have given up and not continue to move forward. So that's what I'm going to continue to do in 2021. I'm going to continue to stay consistent with the things that I do best and hope for the rest to come with it. I know it'll come with it. And honestly, you guys as a group are amazing. You guys are a huge inspiration. I know I don't know many of you, but you fuel the fire. You keep me going. Meetings like this, I'm ready for today. Today's about to be a long ass day, and I'm now so ready because of this meeting. So I appreciate you guys.
Awesome. So, any prediction? 7 million in your first full year in real estate. What are you looking to do next year?
Oh, well over 10 million. So there's no more under 10 anymore.
Boom. Good job. Awesome. So we're down to our top 3 here in growth. And again, while having growth may not be an accident, you don't just grow your business, right? You got to be growing your mind, your body. You got to be reading. You got to make sure that you're in alignment, keep your relationship strong. And these 3 people have certainly done that. Mimi Perrin, which I don't think is on the call. If she is on the call, I'm very proud of her. She came in from a different office and just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I've had a chance to get to know her better, and she's been recruiting and taking advantage of some of the other tools. It's just, I'm just going to grow, right? And I'm not going to let things get in my way. And I'm very proud of her growth as well. Then we have Teresa Lowe, who grew her business 1,248%. Mike's flexing his muscles there. Definitely been part of Teresa's growth. I mean, I think it's incredible to see other veterans kind of grow their business. I don't think Teresa's on this call here, so we won't be able to share with her, but number 1,589% growth was Narda Miranda. She's there. She's giddy right now. I'm super proud of you. Again, anybody can say they've got challenges, right? Whether it's technology or language. And when I first met Narda, I was like, I don't know if she can turn the laptop on. Like, it was, but she had passion. And I think that the one thing that you can't forget is, having passion, just, being interested in the spirit that's around you, and being connected with them is, majority of the winning. So Narda, tell me about what you did in 2019. What challenges did you have in 2019 that you had to overcome? And what do you plan on doing in 2021 to keep that growth?
Oh, I'm very surprised. Thank you. Well, one of my first challenges was really to learn from nothing. I come from another group. I don't want to say the name, but it's an all realtor team. I was there for a year. I didn't really learn much, basically in all the school. And when I joined here, the first meeting, I remember that you say to us, hey, go ahead outside. We were in the middle of Corona and, kill it. So they just opened at that moment, they just opened back real estate. And I went to my first open house the same day. I remember I was on the meeting doing open house with you, and that was super fun. From that time, I get 3 great leads. I closed these 3 extra homes. And, in the first month, I actually went under contract with 5 homes. Compared to the previous year, that was the entire year, only 3. That was amazing. A lot of challenge in here, learn about the business. I constantly go to all the meetings. Well, most of the time when I have a chance, getting really busy lately with clients, learning more and more. So one of my first challenge is really know nothing about real estate until join the team. What I'm planning to do this year, my goals are really, really high. I'm sure I can do it. I'm already under contract with the first week under contract. So I'm trying to make it, realistic of what I'm dreaming for. Super passionate about the business. Very lucky to be with my team, Corinne, Ben, Mimi, all these, Christopher, Carla. They're a really, really great team to be with, every day chatting and talking, make me be stronger. Ask questions on the team, call you too. I mean, everybody support each other. So that's, one of the best things happened to me, just join you guys.
That's awesome. Great job. And I think that, one thing I'll say about Narda is that, she shows up to trainings she probably doesn't even need to show up to anymore. And I can't tell you how important that is, because, you know, hearing things multiple times from different people, you know, showing up and just being involved, I think it's been a big key to her success. And by the way, there were some people that who had an incredible year who didn't have any sales last year that we could track, but had, you know, they would have next year. They definitely will be on this list here. So some people didn't get called out because we didn't have any tracking numbers from them last year. But you know, I think, you know, when we looked at it, we had, you know, a very, very large percentage of our group have, you know, their best year ever. And, you know, it's a testament of the entire group, right? Of us working together, you know, finding, you know, fine tuning our messages and, you know, allowing ourselves to be blessed in a market that, you know, not everybody could say that they did. A lot of offices shut down, right? A lot of offices didn't grow. And I'm just proud of you guys for being resilient through that. So, so I want to talk about 2021. We don't have a lot of time here, but I want to make sure that I spend some time with you. I don't know what all my slides have that little yellow mark on it, but you know, there's 4 reasons why people are going to buy in 2021. And because of those 4 reasons, you need to change your conversation piece. You need to make sure that you can have a plan to implement this. So, you know, we've got ridiculous low interest rate, ridiculous, right? You know, 2.99 is the average. I see 2.6 is coming through. I'm pretty sure that we'll probably see, I mean, at this point, maybe we'll see a 1 something. I don't know. I mean, that just seems kind of crazy. But in today's market, we've got interest rates, and you compare that over the last decades, from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and 2000s. Like, I tell this story all the time. I bought a house in 2005 and I got it like a 7% interest rate, and because my uncle worked at Countrywide, and I thought it was the best rate ever, right? And now here we're at, you know, 2.5% interest rates, and, you know, everyone seems to think that those interest rates are going to continue to stay low. So that's going to help us push the market. So I'd ask you, it's like, what are you doing to help the consumer understand what that means? And I think that is very, very important, is for you to have contrast. A lot of times we don't understand, like, even for some of you guys who came from other real estate offices, how good the opportunity you have unless you have something to compare it to. And sometimes I get scared for new agents who come to EXP and they don't understand, like, how much, what they have here, and then they end up like being like moved to somebody else. Like, right now in this market, you have to give the consumer contrast, right? So if they're a homeowner right now and they've got a 4.5% interest rate or a 5% interest rate, you know, moving their equity into a new home and getting a lower interest rate can, you know, they can have more home and pay less money, right? You know, a lot of consumers believe their solution to saving money is refinancing, and, you know, the solution for many consumers is upgrading. And I'm going to ask you guys, do you have the marketing? Do you have the talking points that upgrading your home can lower your payment? And if you don't, then you need to talk about that. And for a lot of homeowners right now, that is absolutely the solution. If they bought a home and they've got, you know, 50, 60, 70, $100,000 in equity, and they go up to a higher price point but with a lower interest rate, their payment will go down. Maybe they get rid of the PMI, maybe they have a lower interest rate and a lower insurance. There's an opportunity right now for the homeowner to upgrade. And I really want you guys to focus. And by the way, on February 4th, we've got Brent Gove coming into town, and he's going to talk about, you know, enhancing your listing business, right? And the strategies necessary in 2021. The flyer should be coming out today for the location. I believe it's going to be at the Abbey, and we're also going to simulcast it at somewhere else. I think we're renting out the Colonial Promenade, and we're going to simulcast it there for more people to watch it. But it's going to be February the 4th, and you know, we're going to really talk about enhancing your business with listings. And what are you going to do in 2021, which is different than we've done in the past, right? So one strategy is, do you have an upgrade strategy to lower their expenses? And for most of you guys, I look at you guys right now and you're looking at me like, I don't think I do, right? So let's talk about that. It's like, hey, have you ever thought about upgrading to lower your expenses? So think about putting some marketing, find some way to jingle that, put that in your text message campaign, do some bomb videos, figure out a way to talk to the consumer and educate them how to lower their payments. Forget about refinancing, let's upgrade, okay? Number 2, people are working from home. That's no secret. but is your marketing targeting those people that are working from home, right? I think door knocking right now, even in a COVID environment, has never been this successful. My son actually door knocks it for a living, and I thought to myself, hey, I was like, oh man, go out there and do that, but I don't know how that's going to work out. But everybody's at home, right? Everybody's at home. Are you targeting the consumer of today, right? Like, everything should be changing. Your closing gifts should be changing, right? You know, your closing gifts, maybe you want to give them a, you know, a light bar or something like that for their, you know, for their Zooms or something like that that's branded. Think about that. Maybe you could give the consumer a camera that's branded. It's going to be on their laptop all the time, and they're going to be staring at your brand all the time. Think about the consumer changes and what does your business need to change. I want you guys to be very, very I want you to think about your business in 2021. It cannot remain the same, right? Stop giving out bottles of wine. They're going to get consumed in 5 minutes. If you're in my house, I get consumed in 5 minutes. You know, and give them a lasting gift that they're going to see day after day, right? Think about your branding. Does your branding talk to the consumer that's working at home, right? You know, third, you know, the consumer right now, more than ever, they're not looking to be next to the school. They're not looking to be close to home. They're looking for outdoor living, right? Have you changed your marketing for the consumer that wants outdoor outdoor living? I would ask you, does your freaking listing say beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, 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 right? Or does it talk about the paradise retreat that they're going to have, right? Does it talk about the opportunity to have, you know, land? Does it talk about the opportunity to have space, right? Or to have, you know, a Zoom room, okay? You know, or does it have, you know, do you have a, you know, a virtual study room? Do you have, you know, what are you doing to talk to that consumer, right? So your branding needs to be changed. Your listings that you're putting in the MLS cannot say 4-bedroom, 2-bath, spacious home. Like that tire shit, let's leave that for the broker-centric offices, right? We have to paint the picture of what the new future is going to look like in their new home, right? We got to talk to them about how they can take advantage and use these 4 keys together, right? They can get a better home, more space with a lower payment because of these interest rates, right? What processes are you putting in place? Do you need to partner with a patio furniture specialist? Do you need to partner with, like, I get a lot of leads from my patio paver, right? Like Jennifer Encarnacion just put new pavers in her backyard with my patio guy, right? Warley. So, you know, I talked to him. I was like, hey man, I was like, let's do some business together. Who do we need to partner with? Like, you know, in the past, I've always said, hey, partner with, you know, attorneys, accountants, and things of that nature. But like your landscape person might be the best person to partner up with. Your person that is, you know, doing some outdoor designs might be the person. Your pool guy can be, you know, a great person to partner up with, right? And talk to them about the opportunity to make that move, right? People, are your pictures the front of the house, or should your marketing pictures be the back of the house, right? Like a lot of you guys are putting this marketing of the front of the home, right? Let's go to the backyard. Let's take a look at that grill. We need to change our marketing for 2021 to feed the consumer's needs today. Anybody agree with that? And the last thing, you know, one thing I've realized is that while renovations sound cool, there's less and less people out there qualified to do these renovations, right? I call my handyman right now and I can't get him for 6 months. He's talking, I mean, this is my boy. I'm like, hey man, I was like, take care of him. He's like, hey man, I was like, listen, I might not be able to get you till April. And I was like, hey, you got 2 projects. Which one's more important to you? I'm like, what? Right? So as these consumers find themselves, and by the way, there's less and less of these trades people in the, you know, in the industry right now, harder and harder to do the repairs on their home. They're going to move towards new construction. And there was recently a profile done by NAR, and they researched them, and 44% of home buyers purchase a home because they don't want to do renovations. They don't have the yard to go do that big patio. They don't have the space because that wasn't the need that they had in the past, right? You know, so as their needs change, we got to give that to them. So, you know, some of these homes that like my parents have a house that's on 2 acres, and all of a sudden it's wildly popular, right? I mean, people are asking to buy his house, and it's not even on the market right now. people are looking for more space. They're looking for more backyard opportunities. They're looking for more kitchen space. They're looking for, you know, the Zoom rooms. You've got to make sure that you got that in your marketing. So make sure that in 2021, your business is talking to today's consumer. Okay. Couple of reminders, housekeeping. Again, I said, you know, we've got February 4th. Look out for that. Hopefully we'll have that flyer out to all of you guys for Brent Gove's event. Unfortunately, that event will probably sell out in minutes. You know, we just don't have the capacity to bring hundreds of people into the room anymore until, well, for a little while longer, right? So we're going to try to do some simulcasts and things of that nature to allow more people to be present. But you know, when these events come through, like, be Johnny on the spot. If you want to be at the stage, make sure you put yourself down for that. So we'll put the flyer out there and we'll start taking some RSVPs. RSVP yourself early. You know, I think it's the world's changed, right? Like, you know, I used to pride myself in buying things after Christmas, or like buying, you know, decorations. Like, if you don't buy that thing when you see it, it's gone, right? Like, the windows of opportunity are short now. So you got to take some action. You got to be very, very proactive on this stuff. Make sure that you guys are on the alliancecalendar.com and looking at all the trainings that we're offering. Make sure that you guys are going to EXP Calendar in the world and taking advantage of the tools and resources that are there. You know, I heard multiple people talk about, you know, training and how, you know, by helping other people grow, it's actually been a blessing in their business. I mean, look, Tom Simino and Jill Silk, you know, they're two mentors and both of them grew their business last year, right? So, you know, maybe you might think about, maybe it's your time to become a certified mentor. You know, maybe you go into the EXP world and learn how to become a certified mentor and expand your business, right? And expand somebody else's business by doing so. But this is a business, this is a year where you can capitalize, right? And start stretching what you think you can do, because, you know, like, you know, I'm encouraged by Narda. It's like, you know, she's like, in her first month, she's like, you know, like, hey, you can go do the go do 3-5 deals this month. And she, by the way, she had done, I think, 5 deals the previous year. Right? So, you know, coming in and just saying, okay, let's go do it. Well, what do I have to do? I was like, well, you need to do these dollar productive activities this many times, right? And she's like, okay, that's all I gotta do. That's what I'll do, right? You know what you've got to do. I don't have to tell you. You need to make more calls, make more connections, meet more people. It's all about building your funnel, right? The size of your list is going to determine how big your business is. So meet more people, leverage your tools. If you're using KB Core, make sure you're adding 10 people to your database every single day. And if you can't do that, make it rain. Make it rain. Make sure you have enough people in your database to build your business, right? Just a few final thoughts. You know, we're all in this business for different reasons, but I think that most of us are in this business for freedom, right? We're looking to grow so we can have more time, more finances, more wealth, right? And I think it would be silly not to mention this, even though, like, not everybody wants to take advantage of this, and that's okay, right? But we're a global company, right? We're not just in Central Florida. We're not just in Florida. We're a global company. Now, we've watched this company grow since we started here from, you know, 14,000 agents when I started to 40,000 agents, not but 2 years later, right? We watched the stock go from like $7, $8 to, I don't know, $70 that it is today, right? You know, hopefully you guys are participating in the agent equity program, and you're taking 5% of your commissions and putting it towards a stock, right? And investing in your future. You know, to be very frank with you, you guys got the front row and you guys get to see what's happening. You see the growth on this call, right? Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's a look at the future. That's insider trading, right? You're getting an idea of how great this company is and how we're attracting incredible talent. Believe in that. Buy the stock. Invest in the business, right? And then you know another pillar besides your commissions and your agent attraction, you can also have revenue share, right? As you start attracting agents, right? I watched Corinne bring in 3, 4, 5 people this year, right? I watched Jennifer Encarnacion bring in an organization of 100 people with other people that locked arms with her, like Brittany and Josh and other partners on her team that kind of helped her grow that. Like, that's not stopping. So what I would tell you is, if I gave you an opportunity and said, hey, listen, let's go back in time. Let's go invest in Facebook. You'd be like, put me on that time machine. Well, you're watching it happen right now. Invest in the business, lock arms. Think about the people that you know in other countries that may not be open yet, right? We just opened to Puerto Rico, France, Portugal, like every country that you're out there. I don't know if you guys know this, but on May 7th, 2020, we hired a guy named Michael Valdez, who's the vice president of expansion. I think that's his title. I don't know, but he's in charge of opening new countries. For the previous company that he worked for, he opened 100 countries. 100. And EXP, in a short time period, he hasn't even been here in a year, he's opened up 9. There's 81 more countries he plans on opening, right? Be part of that growth in the stock. Be part of that growth in the agent attraction. You know, for some of you guys, like if you were to double down on your stuff like that and really take advantage of the tools and resources and get in the world and come out to the trip, I mean, it could be life-changing. It will be life-changing. So the opportunities right now, I don't know how to tell you this more, but I want to see you guys all grow. I want you to grow in many ways than just commissions. So take advantage of it. If you need some help, reach out to somebody. There's some people on this call who had great years who would love to share with you and collaborate with you and mastermind or just have lunch, right? The power of our team is our team. So take advantage of it. Be present. Come to the trainings. Be part of these stuff. Be a leader. And people will follow you. You know, as you guys are doing your stuff out there, there'll be other agents out there who'll be like, hey, tell me a little about this EXP. And I don't care how big they are. I was a skeptic too. Before all you guys had to be convinced, I had to be convinced, right? And the truth of the matter is I wasn't convinced. And then I started really looking at it with open eyes, and I realized it's like, this is the future of real estate. I don't know if you guys saw, but on the Swanepoel report, you know, it talked about, you know, some of the innovations for real estate, and I think we were number 4 on the list of, you know, I think the word that they used was phenomenal growth and industry disruptor. Like, we've been called a disruptor many times. How many times does it have to be called for you to realize you need to add agent attraction to your business? How many times do you need to see other people grow their agent attraction and see, like, you know what, I probably should introduce some people too. Just make it a goal. Make one more goal. Say, you know what, I'm going to bring a few people in next year and we're going to see where that happens, right? Just make it a goal, because right now the opportunity is happening and I would hate for you to miss out on it. 2021, I can't tell you, I haven't been this excited about real estate since my first year in real estate. Watching you guys grow, watching you guys take advantage, some of you guys building some wealth, tremendous wealth, seeing the opportunity on Marissa's face when she's smiling, thinking about opening up Italy with Biagio. Like, there's incredible, she's over there, she's over there giddy too, right? Like, it's an amazing, amazing time. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. So I appreciate you all. I think I've got one more slide I want to share with you guys. I'm not sure. Marissa, is there anything I'm leaving out that you wanted me to share? Marissa? Any upcoming things that I should be mentioning?
Oh, in April, we have the event in Mexico, in Cabo. I don't know if
Cabo's opened back up, but if it is, go to BrentGroveResources.com, and, you know, even if you don't think that you belong, you belong. Like, you know, think about, you're going to be around the top 1% of agents and brokers throughout the country. Like, some of these guys are doing 300, 400, 700 transactions per year. So, like, just imagine just being around some of those and learning a few things from them. Some of you have learned on this call, right? Imagine about being around those people for a few days in beautiful Cabo and expanding your mind. So, you know, if you can make it work, I think they moved it to April 24th or something like that. Go out there, get on a flight, make sure you're there. Super excited. Shout out to Josh Pride, who's upright right now. I think that's a great sign to see him. Good looking at you, man. It looks like you're losing a little weight there too. Not part of the plan, but we'll take it, right? The blessings come from somewhere, right?
It was part of the goal, but it wasn't the plan.
So, hey, I'm going to give you an opportunity to close out. I mean, you've had a lot of growth in 2020. And what do you plan on doing in 2021 to continue your growth?
Well, bear with me, because I'm pretty sure that the longer I talk, I'll start to cough a little bit. But, you know, 2020 was one of those eye-opening, I'm going to call it an event. It was an absolute event. I remember having this sales meeting a year ago, and there was this guy up in the front of the room talking about this could be the last good year for real estate. I didn't believe him. So Brittany and I just absolutely doubled down when COVID hit at the end of March and April with everything, with our marketing campaigns, with our Zillow ads, with everything that we did. So while most people were going this way, we decided to go this way because of what Gil Ramos said back in January of 2020, that this could be the last good year. We wanted to take advantage. While people were running from the fire, we wanted to go into the fire. So beginning in April, we had a crappy April, you know, front and center. We had a crappy April. We weren't really sure that doubling down was the right thing to do. But when you heard Brittany earlier talking about consistency, when you hear people talking about having faith, believing in themselves, talking to the person in the mirror and making sure that that person matches exactly who you believe that you are, that is what made our year exactly what it was. And to be able to double, from Brittany's perspective, to be able to double her business again year over year after what she did last year was just absolutely incredible. And it's for those of y'all who are, whether you're new or whether you're that veteran, I think Brittany is kind of right in the middle because she's in her third year right now. But to be able to see someone grow because she's helping so many other people grow, I'm gonna have to quote Gil again right here and say, hey, for those of y'all who do see your businesses, whether it's stagnant, maybe it's stagnant a little bit, or maybe you need to challenge yourself, go become a mentor, because the best way to learn something is to teach it and to get great at it. So Gil, I mean, that's been our thing, man, is we just, you know, I'm just a sponge, but you also know that as soon as I hear something good, I want to get it out to the masses. There's no secret to this, y'all. It's just being consistent. It's believing in yourself. Gil, I'm trying to remember what I said back in November, December. It was being obnoxiously consistent, and just having fun doing it, y'all. This is not a job anymore. This is a business. I'm sitting here talking to a doctor yesterday who's been trying to get me out of the hospital for the past 4 or 5 days. And I'm just sitting here thinking, this dude probably has $200,000-$300,000 worth of student loans that he's trying to pay off, and probably didn't make any more money than Brittany did last year. But he's grinding it out 12 hours a day, 4 days a week. I mean, just those things that people don't quite understand, that the opportunity that real estate gives y'all is you do have the freedom, but you got to work your ass off for it first. You don't just sign up to be a real estate agent in order to do anything in real estate and just everything is hunky-dory. You've got to work your butt off for it first so that you can have the freedoms that you want. And that's exactly what we're doing right now, Gil. And that's why I appreciate you letting me close it out, is that we are fighting for our freedoms right now.
Well said, well said. Thank you guys for all being shared. Big shout out to Andrew Brooks and the crew back at the office. Big wave to you guys. As always, I appreciate you guys. I wish you guys the best. Let's make this 2021. If you guys need me, I'm available. Reach out to somebody in the team. Let's grow our businesses. Let's grow our resources, and let's build some freedom. Thank you guys so much. Take care.